Here's one more video about a few more things you need to remember about present real conditionals and future real conditionals. There's a couple of extra things that are not inherently part of the conditionals themselves, but they are rules that we follow when we use them in conditionals. When refers to habits. When also refers to certainty of events. For example, if I make a plan to go to Hawaii, even though I'm not actually in Hawaii, I'm going to talk about it using when because I've bought my plane tickets and it's my plan to go to Hawaii. We use then when we think our results are important or we want to emphasize our results. And we also use even if when our results are surprising or unexpected. And then we use when, unless, to show a negative. Okay, so when and unless share the idea that these are replacements for if. Then is used in results. And then we have even if. This is another if clause. So if you see, we've got 3 different expressions for if clauses. Let's look at when. When I go to work. When she eats soup. When they watch movies. When he exercises. When I go to work, going to work is a habit. It's something I do 5 days a week. So when I go to work, I take the freeway. Okay, so going to work is a habit. Also, taking the freeway is a habit. When she eats soup, she uses hot sauce. Okay, so eating soup is a habit and using hot sauce is also a habit. When they watch movies, they buy popcorn. So a habit of watching and buying. Okay. When he exercises, so when he exercises, he goes with a friend. So we have exercises, and he also always goes with a friend. These two are showing habits. Okay? Just because we're using this word when, it's showing that this action is repeated. It happens on a routine or a schedule or some kind of regular basis. Let's look at then. So if you eat popcorn at the movies, then you will get thirsty. So here, then is emphasizing the idea that this is going to happen. This is going to happen. This result is important. If you turn in your application late, then it might be rejected. So again, it's saying, please pay attention to this result. It is important. If we study tonight, then we don't need to study tomorrow. So I think that this is important. So again, then is used as kind of an indicator to show that the result has special importance or significance. Let's look at even if. Even if he eats chips and cookies, he doesn't gain weight. Even if I read it again, I still don't understand it. Even if we use the coupon, it's still $11.50 per person. So even if is being used to show that this is an unlikely or surprising result. In the first one, we would expect someone who eats chips and cookies and junk food, we would expect that person to gain weight, but he doesn't, and we're surprised. And because of that, we use even if. Even if I read it again, I still don't understand it. Sometimes when we read something a second time, it helps us understand. So it's unexpected or surprising that rereading instructions or an article that we wouldn't understand it the second time. And last but not least, we have even if we use the coupon, it's still $11.50 per person. So when we use a coupon, we expect the price to be lower. But we're using a coupon and the price still doesn't seem very low to us, so we're surprised. We think the price should be cheaper. Maybe we expect the price to be $8 per person, but it's not. It's $11.50. So a lot of times you will see even if, and then you'll see still in the result clause. And you see even if, and you see still in the result clause. Now in the first one there's no still, which is fine. It's not always used. But sometimes it's an indicator to show that the results are not what we expected. Finally, we're going to look at unless. So unless has the meaning of if not. So unless says if we cancel. So what this actually means is if we don't cancel, we will be responsible for the cost of the appointment. So if you don't cancel the appointment, they're going to ask you to pay for it. Number 2 says, unless you go, I don't go. And what it means is if you don't go, I don't go. And what that sentence just means is I don't want to go without you. The last one, the result clause is first and the if clause is second. I'm not going to the airport unless he calls. So here we have unless, if he doesn't call. I'm not going to the airport if he doesn't call. So let's say he, your brother, your uncle, your friend, is at the LAX airport. Well, LAX airport is really far away. And you don't want to drive there unless you have to. So you're going to wait until he calls you before you drive all the way out to LAX airport. So if he doesn't call, you're not going to go to the airport. If he calls, then you will go. So let's take a look at this chart. On this chart, we have the if and result clauses, and we've got the present real conditionals and the future real conditionals. Now there's some things that are missing from this chart. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can remember what's missing from the chart. Okay, I was testing you. I know some of you didn't pause the video, but I hope you did think about what was missing from the chart. So for present real conditionals, we have simple present, or we can also use present progressive. Now for future real conditionals, we use if clause. We also use simple present. Present real conditionals result clause, we use simple present, we can use modals, and we can also use the imperative. Now future real conditionals is missing two things from the result clause. So for future real conditionals, we use forms of future. We've got will, and we have be going to. We also have one more expression for future, and that's modals, but we can only use future modals to express future real conditionals, which would be may, might, and could. Repeat after me. Present real conditionals, if clause, simple present, present progressive. Present real conditionals, if clause, simple present, present progressive. Present real conditionals, if clause, simple present, present progressive. Present real conditionals, result clause, simple present, modals, imperative. Present real conditionals, result clause, simple present, modals, imperative. Present real conditionals, simple present, present progressive. Simple present, modals, imperative. Future real conditionals, simple present. Future real conditionals should actually be really easy. They use the same verb tense in the if clause as present real conditionals. And the result clause uses future. Future, future, future. There's really not a lot of new information about future real conditionals. It's pretty self-explanatory from its title. So please make sure that you memorize this chart. Without memorizing it, you're not going to be able to pass the test. You need to know these pieces of information so you can make better choices for your answers on the test. Something you might want to try to do as an alternative study method, you can take a whiteboard marker and draw on your bathroom mirror or your living room mirror or wherever you have a mirror, except your review mirror in your car. Don't do that. But any mirror that's yours, that belongs to you, you could draw this on the mirror, and then every time you brush your teeth, you comb your hair, you wash your face. Well, maybe not when you wash your face, but there's the chart. And as we learn unreal conditionals in the coming weeks, you can add to your chart. I've got a couple more things for you to practice with, so you can complete these conditionals with your own ideas. When you feel stressed, if it rains tonight, if you have a headache, if the test is canceled, when I finish class today. You can finish these sentences using present real conditionals, or you can use them with future real conditionals. Remember, present real conditionals and future real conditionals both use simple present in the if clause. Only present real conditionals use present progressive in the if clause. So depending on the meaning of the sentence, you can choose to complete these sentences using a future form or a simple present, modal, or imperative for a present real conditional. Go ahead and pause the video and think about some of your answers. So here are some possibilities, some ideas that you could use. When you feel stressed, for these answers, you could use a modal or the imperative. When you feel stressed, take a nap. That's the imperative. When you feel stressed, you should call a friend. That would be using a modal. If it rains tonight, so here it's talking about tonight, so we're going to need to use a future expression or a future modal. My car will get wet. Or if it rains tonight, it might be cold too. If you have a headache, so for this one we can use simple present, modal, or imperative. It's important to rest, simple present. Take a break and some aspirin, imperative. Modal, you should try to relax. Then last two, if the test is canceled, here we can use future. We're imagining the future. We will be so relieved. We are going to celebrate. When I finish class today, I might go to Starbucks. S-Bucks is Starbucks. I'm going to watch Hulu, hulu.com, free TV. Or I should call my friend for lunch. And that's it. Good luck on the test.